One of the most common questions that I hear is, what does a day actually look like? So today I'm going to share with you my 6th graders' schedule from this past year. I like to share my schedules after our school year's over so I can tell you what actually works. If I tell you at the beginning of the year, I'm just telling you what may work. And I don't want to do that. I like to share with you the things that actually worked. This year I'm also releasing a 4th grade schedule and a 10th grade schedule. I also have a few others, so if you're interested, go check out the playlist down there and linked at the end of the video. So my 6th grader, Mondays we have co-op in the morning, first thing. I do not like it, but it is what it is. So we are out the door, this past year we were out the door by 7:30 for co-op. And we were there from 7:30 until noon. Come home, eat lunch, and then we hop right into working on any work that they have for co-op. Now my younger two didn't take core classes there, so there wasn't usually much to do. But I liked to get it done on Mondays so that I didn't have to think about it for the rest of the week. And then after they finished co-op work, we moved. That was the end of their day, basically. If they didn't have anything, then I would let them watch something from PBS or another documentary, read, etc. After Mondays, the rest of the week pretty much the same. First thing in the morning, they would have breakfast. They had a limited amount of screen time they could do, and they would just set their timer for that. Read, play outside, etc. We always started school by 9 at the beginning of the year. By the end of the year, I was pushing it a little more towards 8:30 to 8:45, depending on the day and what my work schedule was. Now, my 6th grader loves to read. So he would start his day with his reading time. As a 5th grader, I had him do 30 minutes of reading. This year, or 6th grade, we did 45 minutes. So that's what he would start his day with. When he was finished with that, until 10:30-ish, he would continue with his other independent work. Spelling, any other language arts that he had, any work, any additional work for co-op, etc. While he was doing this, I was working with his brother, 4th grader. And then we would switch. So at 10:30 would be my time to work with Ben. We would do math, any language arts that he needed assistance with, etc. 10:30 to 11, 30 minutes was generally about enough time for him. Now, if he finished his independent work before I was ready for him, depending on what was going on, I may go ahead and start him earlier. But if I was doing something, then I would just have him continue with reading. He had a whole different set of options that he could choose from. There were times when we would need more than half an hour between math, and then by the end of the year we were doing some analytical grammar, and so he needed a little more time with me then. So while we have these set times on here, they're really more of a guide for us. We are not super structured, but I need the framework of what our day should look like to keep myself focused, and it does provide just a good structure for my kids, but we have a lot of flexibility within it. After that, 11 to 12, we did history and science. Last year, I did this after lunch, but there was always things that came up on reasons why we didn't get to it. So this year, I moved it to that hour, and it has worked so well for us. After that, break for lunch, and then Tuesday and Thursdays, my boys, we had stuff out of the house in the afternoon. Wednesday and Friday, we would start with anything else that I had. If we had anything for history and science that we needed to finish, or there was just some other kind of a project I wanted to do, etc. And then that last half hour of our school day was for independent work. This worked really well because it was good motivation for them to finish up their work in the morning, because if they didn't, then they had to keep going, or they had to finish it during that time at the end of the day. But if they finished it in the morning, then they could be done. And so that was a really good motivator for my kids. And then from 2 to 5, we have general stuff. Cleanup, any other cleanup, like we have morning jobs and afternoon jobs, so they would do that. If we had any errands to run, those sorts of things. They could have more screen time in the afternoon, play outside, etc. And then about 5 o'clock, we transitioned to our evenings. Dinner prep, cleanup, family time, games, etc. Except on Wednesdays where we do have different events going on at our church. And then my boys, they don't generally go to bed until closer to 9-ish on the day, but about 7 o'clock, we would start transitioning to that time. So snack, anything to clean up, prep for the next day, if there was anything they needed to do. If we're going anywhere, gathering up their bags and etc. And then they could go hang out, play, listen to audiobooks, read, etc. before turning in for the night. So this was a typical day, typical week for my 6th grader. There was a lot of flexibility in that, but yeah, that's a pretty good guidance to what a day would look like for us. Don't forget to check out the playlist on the screen for videos on tips on scheduling and what a homeschool day will look like for various grades, and I'll see you in the next video.